must be immense. Can we start, though, first of all, with the club itself? Have they got any further way they can appeal against this, or is that it, a time as well? Because we've heard a lot about the Court of Arbitration for Sports involved in this, potentially.
In terms of where they can go, I think probably this is likely to be the end of the road for Southampton in terms of action that they can take within the league processes and procedures, because the way this worked was that the EFL essentially was the prosecutor. It brought the charges for spying and Southampton not behaving in conduct with the utmost good faith. You had the decision that was released yesterday, and then we had the appeal today. And that's it in terms of what will happen as far as the league is concerned. And obviously the EFL is very much focused on trying to get the playoff final on Saturday played, so that's their priority. But what might follow is potential action from the FA. So the FA, even though the EFL is done with its process, the FA has powers to investigate potential misconduct, and clearly, those at Southampton who have admitted that they were engaging in misconduct could face a misconduct investigation. And then, of course, we've got any potential action from the players and or third parties. So it's an awful mess. It really is.
Might, for example, Tonder Eckhart become the focus of that? He has kind of said, I didn't realise this wasn't a done thing over here. Now, I think ignorance is no defence in the eyes of the law, but might there be a sanction against him, I don't know, managing or coaching for a certain period of time within the EFL because of this?
Yeah, I think, so as far as the EFL process is done, I think they're unlikely to go back looking at misconduct for him. But I think what's very likely is that the FA will investigate probably Tonder Eckhart and any other Southampton staff members who have admitted as being part of the party who were leading the Spygate and also engaging in it. The problem is, obviously, as you know, the EFL haven't yet published the written decision, so we can't see the exact details in terms of who's admitted what. But I would expect the FA to go back in there and have their own investigations. And obviously one of the sanctions available to them is to ban him, suspend him. Given the severity, a ban does seem like it would be quite likely.
From a fan's point of view, where would they stand on spending money on season tickets for effectively a null and void campaign? Would there be any, could a fans group put together any legal action?
Yeah, I think, I guess it's not, the whole season isn't null and void per se. I see what you mean in the sense that it's clearly a very disappointing outcome, but they have watched the team play out a championship campaign, so I don't think there's any question legally, at least, as to them not receiving, the service that you would expect having bought a season ticket. So I think that's probably more of a sort of moral gripe rather than them having like an actionable legal claim.
I also find it fascinating that the consequentiality, if there is such a word, of this decision by the EFL. I mean, I know Luton got docked, I think, 30 points, which was, heartbreaking for Luton fans. Can you think of anything, though, with this kind of potential cost for the club? And we've heard figures of like £120 million upwards for that big game. If you go back in the Premier League, broadcasting money alone is over 100 million. Has there been anything the like of this before in Premier League or EFL history?
It's absolutely unprecedented, isn't it? I think there's no question about that. Just in terms of the far-reaching consequences and the fact that ultimately, you're talking about a loss of that scale and magnitude because someone is spying and then there's been a legal decision made. This is not something that's happened because of a team playing poorly or playing well across the course of a season. It's because somebody has committed a gross act of misconduct several times over with aggravating factors such as trying to conceal that and everything else that's out there in the public domain. So I think it is unprecedented, and I think that the EFL are clearly wanting a deterrent as a result of this. So they obviously had this Regulation 127 after the Leeds United Spygate case in 2019 against Derby in the playoffs, and at that time there was just a £200,000 fine leveraged against them. But there hasn't been a test since the new regulation has been introduced. And I guess if there was a lighter sanction, then it may have left the door open for clubs to say, well, we're taking risks every day in terms of finances, trying to get there to the Premier League. Is it worth a little points deduction fine to see if we can get a competitive advantage? Yeah. Now we know there's no way. No. Such brutal consequences that anybody's going to try and repeat this anytime soon.
And also the Hull owner, has made it quite clear that he thinks that his club should be automatically promoted and shouldn't even have to play this game against Middlesbrough. If they were to lose on Saturday, he's considering legal action. This could rumble on.
I think you've got two hopes with that, though. No hope, Bob Hope, followed by Envelope and Antelope.
No, do you not think? Because his team have spent over a week preparing to face different opposition.
Obviously a difficult situation for everyone involved, and I do feel sorry for Hull because, as you say, they've been preparing for Southampton, and now a couple of days before the final, it's now Borough. Clearly, it's distracting. They may well have favoured the EFL trying to postpone the final in some way, or taking longer over the decision. Because I think, we can all see that procedurally the EFL has prioritised trying to get the final on Saturday played, and we've had an original decision and then an appeal decision within 24 hours, which I've never known in terms of the sporting governing body. So it is extraordinary. Yeah. And clearly Hull are the only team that have got there so far on sporting merit alone. They're the only one who bizarrely has won all the matches that been necessary to win. So I do see that, but I do wonder if it's a bit of positioning as well, and perhaps it's part of the sort of tactical mind games which go beyond the legal stuff. So we'll see. If they lose, it will be juicy for sure.